once you know what to listen for, you'll have a preference. You know, you might not be able to pick everything out each time, but in the mix, and that's fine, because that doesn't matter anyway. But when you record a song, you record it with two different guitars, you're probably going to find at one point that you really like this guitar for this kind of recording. Mr. Gerald. Then you do the other guitar, and when that happens, where'd it go? I gotta be careful because I got some of these with gas in them. Grab one with gas, that's not gonna taste too good. If you ever had a mouthful of gas from siphoning a hose, you know what I'm talking about. Not a pleasant experience at all. But the really cool thing is that when you take your time and you plan stuff out, and you don't just give in to the impulse, the one thing that does happen is that when you buy something you're absolutely happy with, doesn't mean you're never going to want anything else again, but you just kind of lose the wanderlust, I guess you could say, of, oh, you know, I'll buy this, and oh, I'll buy that. That's why, like with the drum kit, I just, you know, cut to the chase, buy a professional drum kit. Why? Because if you look at my drum kit, number one, if that's the only drum kit I ever buy in my life, you know, the amount of people that are jealous of me having that drum kit is you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, I don't want to buy everything 3 times. You know, the guitars are a little different because I'm a guitar player or whatever. You know, so I like having multiple guitars. But if someone told me, even though my favorite guitar of all times is the SG61 reissue, if they said, okay, Reg, out of all your guitar collection, you have to sell it all to finance, say, a world tour or something, and you can only keep one guitar. You can get other guitars later on, but you can only keep one guitar for now. What guitar is it going to be? It's going to be the Mark Holcomb 7-string. Why? Because the way it plays, it's that extra low B note. You know, when you start chugging away on those low notes, man, on the baritone, it just sounds so good. So 90% of your song is going to be a rhythm guitar, right? 90 some odd percent. Only maybe 10% is going to be a guitar solo, or maybe even less than that. Maybe 3% of your song is a guitar solo, right? So when you start looking at it like that, the guitar that fills the sound where you want the most is the guitar you should probably focus on the most, right? So like, I play my 7-string every day. I do play all the other guitars all week. I like, if I go up into the music room in the morning to grab my clothes before I go to work, I grab the Flying V, or I grab the SG, or I grab the 8-string, or whatever I grab. Now the 8-string, I wish the 8-string was the guitar I thought it was going to be. You know, will I ever get rid of it? Probably not, because like, it's one of those guitars that I love the 7-string, but after you've played the 8-string and you got that extra dimension that you can go with that low F sharp, it's kind of like you feel naked without it, you know? So it's kind of a weird thing where it's like, it's not doing exactly what I want. The 7-string does exactly what I want. The 8-string, it's what it is you can't, you know, it's too flubby on the F sharp and the B, where on the 7-string all the strings are slightly higher than average tension, like not quite acoustic guitar tension, but you know, it's like the finest acoustic guitar you've ever played. That's what it's like playing the 7-string. Now the shorter scaled 7-strings that are 25.5 inch scale, like the Steve Vai models and stuff like that, those have lighter strings on it, so those are really no different to play, but the low B on that is more flubby. You know what I mean? It's not too bad. It's not as flubby as like on the 8-string, the F sharp on the 8-string. But when you're playing those low notes, you really need clarity and definition. So for me, I think if you want the ultimate heaviest guitar sounding band, let's say you have two guitar players in the band. Get one guy with either like a Gibson scale for doing this really snappy guitar solos, or the 25.5 inch Fender scale. Gibson scale is 24 3/4, whichever for your lead guitar player, you know, and main riff, right? And then for your rhythm guitar player, make him play an 8-string or a 7-string, you know, or a baritone, where, okay, he's not going to be doing any guitar solos hardly at all, maybe does the odd double harmony or whatever. The 7-string is the happy medium. But if you go like a B to B baritone with a 28-inch scale, you are going to have the punchiest, heaviest sounding guitars. I haven't tried the PRS 277 yet, and I want to. But like I would buy that solely as a, rhythm guitar, like no leads whatsoever, because you can't really, well, you've only got the B string and the G string to do the solos on. It's a narrower neck, so it's a little more comfortable to play. But that said, I'd rather have the 7-string because it does the baritone thing, plus, it's a better compromise, right? But if you can only have the one guitar, it's the 7-string. So if I ever get lucky and I can become a professional musician again, it may or may not happen. I don't really care if it doesn't, but it'd be nice if it did, right? I'm never going to stop playing just because I don't make it big. I'm not one of those idiots that, and again, when you'll hear 20-year-olds saying that all the time when they're in the bands. If this band doesn't make it big, that's it. It's over for me. I'm going to give up on music. Like that's the equivalent of a child holding their breath when they don't get what they want. You know what I mean? No, you do the music because you love doing music. That's it. That's why you do it. Right? You don't... sorry, like you're not, like if you're doing it for the plan is, okay, I'm going to learn a musical instrument and then I'm going to make it famous, I'm going to make millions of dollars, blah, blah, blah. That rarely works. It doesn't mean it can't work. Like you got like a lot of, like if you see like a lot of guitar channels now, it's all girls. It's all pretty teenage girls, right? Dressed scantily clad. That's where they're getting their views. Now, if they can play really well, they'll be like Sophie Lloyd, Sophie Burrell, or whatever. They'll make it to those levels because, they're good-looking girls. But when you click on the video, they can actually play well. There was Laura Cox. She was really good. And she started a band, and then you never heard from her again. I don't know, maybe she's still playing or not, but she's more like hard rock, right? But a very, very good player. So yeah, the females will always have that unfair advantage of aesthetics, right? So, you can't, as a guy, a 51-year-old man, I can't compete with that, right? I'm not going to try to look like I'm 22, but what I can do is give you a song, a story, a visual that it's like, wow, just wow, I can't believe what I just watched. And I have to deliver it on whatever budget is available. So, like, for example, Plague Doctor, like that song, even if there's never a music video to it, you're going to listen to that song because the riffs are really cool. If you're a guitar player, it's not overdone to razzle dazzle, impress you with the guitar playing, but it's very melodic. It's heavy, but it's very, very melodic. If you're a lyricist, you'll be haunted by the lyrics a little bit and say, oh, what would have been like to live during the Black Plague? This is kind of like from the Plague Doctor's view, what was life like? You know what I mean? So very interesting lyrics. So from a historical context, you'll listen to the song, kind of like what Sabaton does, right? Like Sabaton, the guys are ugly. You know what I mean? They're a bunch of ugly guys making awesome music. So you're not watching them because they're good-looking guys or whatever. You're watching them because they make awesome music. So you don't care what they look like, right? That's what you got to sell as a musician. Like I say, the girls they can get in there as a with their they're using their looks, the aesthetics, just to get people to click. But then they have to come up with, okay, yeah, but this is the guitar player. I'm here I am shredding like Yngwie. Check it out. What do you think? So you have to understand, like, that stuff, like how to market yourself. You know what I mean? You use every advantage. And I have no, like, animosity or jealousy of these girls that, like, they're doing it. Like, there's the one girl there, I forget what her name is there. She's always in, like, bra and panties when she's playing, right? So guys are going to click on it, guilty, whatever. And she plays like maybe like 5 seconds of a riff. You know what I mean? Okay, whatever. you know, it's mindless entertainment. Fine, go for it. But for me, I want somebody to listen to my song and go, wow, that was really, really cool. I want to hear that again and again and again. Reflections, I'm working on that one, and I got to refine before I bring it to Amanda, who I'm going to try to get a hold of later today, because she's going to